Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. How are y'all? We are just continuing the birthday party run on over here at my house. And I'm really sorry, but there is no cake.
No
Still
cake.
no cake, but no cake.
No cake. But still, birthday party either way.
That's right. That's right. Hello, Michelle Mosaic and Sherry Kay. Thank y'all so much for being here. And there's Mama Gwen. Mary, happy birthday. Thank you. Yes.
And Amy, it's good to see you.
Yes. Well, now, Daniel, he partied as long as he could earlier, but we sent him to bed, bless his heart. Yes. Hello, Mary King. How are you, sweetheart?
Hey. Yeah, we made Dan go lay down. He's not feeling good, so he needs some rest.
Yeah. We hope that he's hoping it's not the sea, but still floating around out there. So prayers, please, that it's just a bad cold and it's knocking for a loop. So anyway, I hope everyone's having a great Sunday. Here's our Coco. Yeah, step away for a moment. Oh,
we got a puppy nose.
I was gonna say, everybody's seeing Lacey. We need to see yours.
Of course. Mine are sleeping.
Yes.
Now they get mad if I wake them up, so we're going to wait a little while.
I was going to say, we're going to leave them alone for a little bit and let them get a nap, and maybe they'll be a little bit friskier for us here in a bit.
I hope so.
Anyway, I hope everybody's having a great, beautiful Sunday wherever you're at. I'm hoping my internet, folks, honestly, right after we got off from the birthday party, I got kicked out. It's very, very windy here today. There's still lots of dark clouds over the lake out there. So just keep our fingers crossed and we can at least get through the live today, because I have so many cool things I want to share with you. Hello, Ashley. How are you today? It's good to see you.
Hi, Michael.
Michael, hey, cannot stay. Oh, well, sweetheart, thank you so much for popping in. And I'm going to be sending you an email here in the next couple of days, because I already have some questions about Tunisian. So just be looking for it if you don't mind. Oh, Ashley's birthday was last Sunday. Well, happy birthday, sweetheart.
Birthday. Rainy in Minnesota. Oh, my goodness.
Poor Amy. If she's not getting snow, now she's getting rain. Hello, Joe.
It was pretty stormy here last night, but we're okay today, I think.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wonderful.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Yeah. Just what? A couple of weeks ago, Amy, you were posting pictures for us of snow, and now she's got all the rain. Goodness gracious.
Hey, Bonnie.
Hello, Bonnie. How are you? Thank you so much. Yes, for the squirrel raid. That's awesome. And there's Frozen Angela. How are you, sweetie?
And there's Jen. It's good to see you.
She popped in. I didn't even notice it. Hello, DK Jen. How you doing? And there's Beth.
And thank you. It's good to see you.
Yes.
I was excited for all the winners. It was wonderful.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Mama G, boy, I tell you what, she was
cleaned up.
Yeah. Hello, Laura. How are you doing today, sweetheart?
Hello.
It's good to see you guys. I hope everyone's had a wonderful week. I know that we have.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
Pretty good here. Oh, look at that. So Mama, I need some loving.
Yes.
That's the Dobby one.
Dobby love.
Yeah, what Dobby do?
Dobby needs a
Now,
sauce.
is Dobby an old dog? Because I see a lot of white, or is that just part of his coloring?
No, that's part of her coloring. She's just
Part of his coloring. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Jake is gray because he's old.
Okay.
Used to be almost all black, but
Wonderful, Laura. That's good.
Great, Laura.
Absolutely.
With Tia, she's going to be 11 now this next October, and she's already a cream-colored pup anyway. And you really don't notice how old she is until she's been to the groomer, because then they trim everything back, and then when it starts growing, it's really white, and it has. Wow.
Wow.
Like Coco, when I first did my hair, it looked like a skunk.
Oh,
wow. Awesome, Ashley. That's wonderful. Crocheting on your lap blanket.
That's great. Yes. As I said, just make sure you have something to drink, a hook, and some yarn there, and we'll get busy here in just a little bit talking about some tips and tricks and some hacks for you today.
Yay.
And hopefully there'll be some ones that you've never heard of before.
Well, I know for me, I think there's only one or two when I was looking around, see if there's anything new that I hadn't seen before.
I should have saved my lighted gloves for this episode.
Wonderful, Sherry. Wonderful. I hope you dyed it blue.
Oh, you dyed Chris's hair? What color?
Fun.
Well, I'm hoping it's blue. I doubted
Cohen
it.
wants me to dye his hair purple.
Who?
Oh, good.
Cohen, the youngest.
Uh-huh.
The youngest yet tallest.
Good.
Yeah. I used to tell everybody that because I'm 5'2", and my brother was like 6'4", and so whenever I would introduce him to people, I would say, "This is my little brother," and he would, turn and look down at me and say, "Who's little?" Then I'd have to say, "This is my younger brother." No, not blue. It's a light brown.
Yeah.
Well, you said you were going to dye. He wants to dye his hair purple. I take it he's still in school?
Yep.
Okay. Are there any, restrictions? Like our school is still pretty conservative. And so if it's not your natural hair color,
No. Aside from now they have uniforms. When I was there, we didn't.
Right.
Aside from that, it's like you can express yourself in any other way.
Right. Well, that's cool.
What's wrong with purple?
Yeah. It's just not a natural color, but.
Right.
No.
Yeah, at our school, we're still pretty conservative. We're West Texas, very small, and boys still have to have, what is it?
Above the ears and above the collar.
Yes, above the ear and above the collars. No facial hair, and like I said, if it's not your natural hair color, you cannot have any abnormal piercings. So girls can have. No more than 2, honestly. Yeah, they can't go up the ears. No nose and tongues and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway.
Yeah, it's raining in Minnesota. That's what.
Cohen's also got really long hair now. So he would not fly at your school.
No, I'm glad you like blue, Ashley.
Nope.
And no, it's a light brown, Sherry says.
And I tell you what's really even funnier is that all the football players, before the first official game, now district games, no, but before the first official game, they'll all go and get their heads buzzed. I mean, it's all gone. Yep. It's just like.
Speaking of the devil, Cohen just walked in my door.
Hi, Cohen. Oh, Mom.
So we're here today. I thought today would be a good day to introduce you to some hacks, some tips and tricks. Now, you can go out on the internet or even on YouTube, and a lot of these you've probably already seen. But I thought it was just kind of interesting how many of us make do, like with what we've got. How many of us, and I'm going to raise my hand right now, are kind of stuck in our own ways of doing things and don't quite venture out into learning anything new. So I thought I would present you with just a few, like I said, tips, tricks, and hacks to kind of get you thinking a little bit outside of the box. Now, these will work pretty much for knitters or crocheters. Now, there will be a couple that I show you that are specific for crocheting, but anyway, so the first one I wanted to talk to you about was, crocheting and knitting, or really any craft that you get started in, they're not cheap. I mean, you've got supplies, you have even the little bittiest things. I mean, I remember when I first, way back, started learning to crochet, everything was given to me. I mean, Grandma gave me hooks, she gave me my scissors, my tape measures, just everything like that. Hello, Cindy, and thank you. She's a new member. Well, that's super awesome.
Thank you, Cindy. This is for Cindy.
Thank Thank you. Hello, Jay Hook. How are you?
Hey, Jay.
So anyway, and I mean, it was that way for a long time. And then I started, venturing out and buying my own things. I didn't want those big old long clunky scissors. I wanted some really cute small ones. Where's my little container? There it is. Like these cute little ones like this. But they're not cheap. So for those of you that are just starting out, my best recommendation for you is to, number one, don't go out and spend a lot of money on these cute little scissors, because they are cute, don't get me wrong, and they serve the purpose. But I would start out with, a good pair of scissors, with the understanding that they only cut yarn. Now, you got to understand, when you are cutting with your scissors, you get to cutting paper with this. You wouldn't think paper would nick or dull your scissors, but whenever you get to cut, or cardboard, or you open it up like this, and you run it across that tape. I mean, we don't really stop and think about the fact that we are creating grooves in our needle, in our scissors. Now, see, these still close pretty good together. There's no gap in there. But over time, when you start cutting them or using them to cut other things, they start causing a gap or a spread in between. And yeah,
I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, but these have a gap in them.
These are saw it briefly.
And box opening scissors.
Yeah.
And there is a gap down here. And I do not use them for yarn.
Right.
They have a blue handle, so I know which one it is. I don't. And it's in this section here.
Right.
But I know because of the way it cuts. And you don't use that. You don't want to use those scissors for yarn.
No.
That's hilarious, Michelle. She says, cutting hair will sharpen scissors. I trim Cash's feet to sharpen mine.
Oh, my goodness.
Hello, Rudy. Welcome in, Rudy.
Hello, Rudy. How are you? A good way and a cheap way to sharpen your scissors is to take foil, aluminum foil, and cut and fold it about 5 or 6 times, and then just sit there and snip, 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 snip all the way through there. It will sharpen them for you. But the thing I wanted to point out is, and even people that sew will tell you, you have one really good pair of scissors, and that's the only thing they cut is material. Don't let anybody else to pick them up for anything else. I cannot tell you the number of times my husband will come along and say, I'm going to borrow your scissors. And I said, only if you're going to be cutting yarn. Oh, otherwise, he has paid dearly over the years for picking up my scissors, because I tell him, you might as well go ahead and keep them, because I don't want them back now.
No.
Another thing that you're going to want to have. Now, I have 2 here, and I'll tell you why I have 2 here in just a minute. I love tape measures, don't get me wrong. But hello, Granny D. How are you, sweetheart? Thank you for joining us and sending your little squirrels over to us.
Yes, thank you so much, Greenie D. You are amazing. And this is for Greenie D.
Thank you, Granny D. You are such a sweet pea. So
Turns out that's just long enough for me to go grab another cocktail and get back before it's finished.
Rulers really are your best friend, and I'll tell you why. They're really nice, especially whenever you're. I started using them when Grandma taught me how to do granny squares, because you can lay it just flat down on your project and get a really good read on how wide it is, especially if it's a small project. And even smaller still are these ones that are about 6 inches. Now, I want to tell you something. These little puppies are getting hard to find. I mean, I had to go out and order mine on Amazon. You can't just go into Walmart, even at the beginning of school, to get them. But the reason why I like these smaller ones is that I never can find my little wraps per inch gauge thingy. I never can find that puppy when I want it. So, and we all know that not all, there you go. I can never find him when I want him, but you can use a ruler.
It works great.
To determine if you are looking at a 3-weight or a 4-weight, just by taking and, well, here, I got a piece of yarn here. And I'm going to start right here at number 3, and I'm going to start wrapping this. Now remember, whenever you do your wraps, you don't want to pull it tight. And sometimes, even for me, folks, I find this a lot easier to play with than with that little wraps per inch gauge. And this little guy here is coming up on what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's about all I can get on there. So you wrap your yarn on there, and now I don't have it memorized. I always have to go and look it up in my notebook, but I can see how many wraps per inch I can get out of this yarn that I just have a little bit of, because it does look like a 4-weight to me, but it might be a thin 5-weight, And a few episodes ago, we found out that not all 4-weights are the same. So having a ruler is really good. Now, I like this ruler because now I don't use this one when I want to figure out my wraps per inch, but you see this little bump out here, that little slot, you know what that's nice for? I can put it on my patterns that are getting a little bit too hard for me to read, and I can put it on there and it magnifies for me.
I like that.
Yes.
That's cool.
Hey, Scully.
Yes, these are really good. Hello, Scully. How are you doing? I didn't realize you went on last night, and I just got a little thing saying, oh, you went on like 12 hours ago. So I'll have to go back and catch your replay. If y'all don't have Scully, y'all need to go and look at him, folks. He has some really great stories that he reads for you. I mean, and he's got his own twist, so really ought to go and check him out.
Well, the other nice thing about those rulers, is these rulers can stretch over time.
That's right.
Those will not stretch.
That's right. That's right.
So keep that in mind if you have a very old tape measure.
And another thing is, I couldn't find one, but when I have the opportunity and I can find them, the cloth tape measurers, the ones that fold, we can get them. There you go. Instead of being plastic, because even those over time are going to stretch. Now, I'm talking like a few years, but the cloth ones are not going to stretch on you.
No.
Nor is the markings on the tape measures over time. Y'all be surprised. I've got 2 or 3 of them that just from them running back and forth in here have lost, especially on the back side where the millimeter marking is. It's lost its color.
Yeah, they do fade.
They do fade. So
They do fade. So be careful because they will even this is a plastic one. It's not a fabric one. My fabric one's in one of my project bags. This will stretch over time.
right.
I can actually stretch it while I don't want to. You can actually pull on it and stretch it. Don't do that, but you
Yeah.
can.
Mm-hmm.
They will stretch over time. So it is good to have a firm, sturdy ruler.
Right. Okay. Now, why do you think I want fingernail files?
Oh, I have those.
Snagging.
Do
Snagging.
what?
Snagging.
Yes, right. That's right, for snaggings. Now, I will this is one thing that I read just the other day. When before you go to the fingernail file, okay, like this is a wood hook, before you go to this fingernail file, now not the glass one, but your good old like emery boards, which is what my grandma always had. On your wooden hooks, when you start feeling a little bit of drag in here or up here on the top, take a piece of wax paper.
Yes, I do the wax paper.
I've never heard of that before.
When
I
your
was like,
hooks drag, meaning they're hugging the yarn, they're keeping the yarn
yes.
from sliding smoothly,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a hook or a knitting needle. You get wax paper and you run it down the hook or the knitting needle,
Right.
and
I
it
mean,
helps the yarn to pass smoothly.
mm-hmm.
And it
But I've
works.
never heard about the wax paper trick. I mean, I was
Yes,
just like, oh, wow.
well, it
Cool.
works for wood, it works for
Mm-hmm.
resin, acrylic, and metal.
Well, that's good.
For
But
all of
there
them.
have been times where, I mean, even a wood hook, you're going to drop it just like you do your resins and your metals. But, just a little bit of buffing right here
Oh
on the
yeah.
edge. Or sometimes you'll find that just right in here, it'll start to get just a little bit of rough. Now, it shouldn't if it's a good quality hook. But, sometimes we like to find a deal and get one and try it out. So, this is good for your wood hooks for sure. Now, I love this one.
I love the glass one.
Yeah, I love the glass ones for my resins
Mm-hmm.
and for my metals. Now, I've not had to do these because I just now got them, but I will from now on, I will try the wax paper first before I actually use these others.
These work fantastic. I always have a file and a folded up square of wax paper in my bag. If I'm traveling, they work fantastic. Scully, you are unbelievably
Oh, Scully,
amazing.
thank you so much. You're
Absolutely.
Such a sweetheart.
And of course, Scully, this is for you. Because you never know when you're going to get a snag on something, whether it's a knitting needle or a crochet hook.
Right.
And they are very helpful. And I would suggest to use the wax first. But when you buy your emery boards, always use the fine grit size.
Oh, yes.
Don't use the rough grain.
Yeah.
You're going to gouge into your hook.
Yeah. This one is a 180 on both sides. You used to could be able to buy the 220s, but I think you have to actually now go to like Sally's. Is that right? Yeah.
You have to go to an actual beauty supply place.
Thank you very much. That's
the finer grades.
Yeah, to get anything finer. All righty. Now, we all love to have these cute little boxes, to hold our stitch markers. Some of us can even get these little tins. I have one over there. There you go. See, we keep stitch markers in and to hold our needles. This one's got a couple of needles in it. It's got a ton of stitch markers. But now, don't laugh, folks. But, my hubby and I, we take medication every single month. And we end up with these pill bottles everywhere. I am not kidding you. So I have started taking the labels off of them, and I drop these in my bags everywhere.
Make sure you take the labels off, guys.
Yes, please make sure you take the labels off because you don't want to be, no.
And it would be good for most medications to wash it out first.
Oh, yes, most definitely wash it out. But I have several of my needles in here. I carry a little bit of embroidery floss with me. I can stick in here. Here we go. A couple of stitch markers. I mean, everything right there. Put the lid on it. Nice and plastic. I mean, it's not going to get snagged on anything. Yeah. So there you go. And
I have this that came with my clover hooks. But I got this off Temu. It's a toothpick holder.
Yes.
But same idea.
Yeah. This came from Temu for me. And it has a flip top.
Yes.
And it's got tapestry needles in it. I have a couple of them. But I actually do prefer these. This actually held mints in it. I'm trying not to let y'all read it. But it held mints in it. And I just repurposed it. I washed it out and I'm repurposing it.
Ashley says she uses empty Tic Tac containers for her stitch markers.
That's a good idea.
That's awesome. Yeah.
This literally had mints in it. It actually has the ingredients on the back for the mints.
Right.
So I like that. And I do like magnetic. I like, I don't have it right here. It must be in a project bag. I like the tins that you put a magnetic strip here and it'll hold stuff.
That's the reason why I like them.
That's what I like. This is awesome. Yes, I like the light bulb stitch markers. I have tips for that.
Right. Okay, so let's talk just a minute about some household items that you have that you can put your yarn in and just sit there on the side of the chair with you if you don't want to take in your whole big project bag or something. Now this one's not empty, folks, and it is the smaller one, but these lovely disinfectant white things. Now I'm talking about the ones that are a little bit bigger. This is just, the regular size, but you can get the ones that are bigger around. I love these things because I love being able to take my yarn and slip it right through that hole there. Stuff my yarn down, like I said, now in the bigger bowl, the bigger one.
Oh, yeah.
Snap that back on there, and I can crochet. It pulls right through. It doesn't get caught on those little things like I thought it would because it's got some little grabbies for the tissue itself when it pulls out. But, folks, this thing is awesome for putting yarn in. And like I said, you can just sit right there. You can have 2 or 3 of these sitting there with different colored yarns in it if you're working on a project that has different colors in it. It's cheap. I mean, you bought it anyway to use for one thing. Take the container and repurpose it. Another idea. Now, this is a small one I have, but again, if you buy coffee in these big plastic containers here, make sure you clean it out real well, but cut yourself a hole in the lid, drop your cake in there, pull it back through there, and there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I would not do these with my Rubbermaids, but you can go to the dollar store and get all sorts of different size plasticware, bigger bowls, smaller bowls. You can even get ones that are cylinder, like for pizza, pasta sticks and things. Cut yourself a hole, have your hubby or even you yourself can drill a hole in the top, and then make sure you use some sandpaper or something to get the plastic squirrelies off of it, and use this. I mean, this holds a very nice cake in it. If it had a hole in the top, pull it through there. I have gone and bought several Dollar Tree store containers like that and done it. When I have 3 or more colors that I'm working with at one time, it's really a great idea. Now, this one I saw on a in a magazine. Any bucket, any size bucket that you want. Take these little black clips here, clip it on the side, run your yarn through one or through both of these, and it pulls right through. It won't pull this off, and there you go. Something that you already have that you can use without going out and buying anything fancy. Now, don't get me wrong. We all love having the pretties and stuff, but if you're on a budget, or if you're like me, I like repurposing stuff. I mean, I really do. And I don't only repurpose it for my crafts and stuff, but anywhere else I can do it.
Another one.
Go ahead.
You go ahead, Coco.
I once saw a thing that suggested using a colander with the holes in there.
Yes.
I do not recommend, because once it's in there, you're not getting it back out. So whatever you use, make sure the hole is big enough to fit your hook through also, or like something like whatever project you're working on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one that's been used for many, many years is a 2-liter bottle.
Yes.
Wash it out really well. Take the end and cut the end off. Now, I like to take sandpaper to mine.
Right.
For my edges. That's just what I like to do. And then you feed your yarn into it and bring it out the top hole.
Right.
And you've got your yarn, and your yarn stays clean. Even though we don't have the old black caps on the ends, you can still put the end back over top of it. It works fine.
Right.
If you don't want to sand your edges, you can take and put tape over top of all of your edges. It works fine. And 2-liter bottles are fantastic for keeping your yarn clean and letting it roll around on itself inside of the container. I love those. Now, I like the Dollar Tree idea of the bowls. I have just gone in, and the butter tubs.
Yes.
Like Country Cock comes in. Those butter tubs are fantastic.
They are.
When it's empty, you just clean it, and you can put a hole in the top of it, or just cut out a wedge on the edge where it closes on itself, and feed your yarn through that. And they're fantastic for just letting the ball of yarn roll around in them.
Yeah. Now, this one, my grandma taught me a long time ago. Just get yourself a pretty little cup towel if you want. Fold it in half. Get your big old skein of Red Heart, Super Saver even if you want. And just put your skein down. Make sure you have the end that you're going to work on. And just roll it up in your paper towel. Now, what this does, folks, and I promise you it works every single time. If you keep that skein rolled up in this thing, it's going to collapse down as you are pulling your yarn, working through it. Even when it gets down to just flat nothing, it keeps it nice and straight. And you know how it is when you get down at the bottom of or at the end of a skein, it starts balling up on you, tangling and everything. It won't do it in a cup towel.
Nope, it doesn't.
And I'll tell you another thing that works really well, especially on just the regular size Super Savers, is my husband likes to wear those long socks, that kind of come up to his knees because of his boots. Cut the toes out and feed your skein through there as well. And just like the cup towel idea, it will shrink back down as you are working with the skein. It's cheap.
I also take the cups. Well, I take the cups off of my husband's. I thought I had one over here. I don't. It must be on a thing. Your cakes, your yarn cakes, take the cup from the cuff, C-U-F-F, from the sock, and put it around the cake of yarn. And as the cake collapses, the sock goes in, and it keeps it from being tangled.
That's a good idea. I didn't know about that one. I don't know about the cakes, Mima Dawn. I mean, I really don't. And thank you for being here, sweetheart. I meant to pop in there and say that earlier. Thank you, Scully. You are such a sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you. I haven't used it on a cake, honestly. because I use my little project bags like that, and I thought I pulled one out. Just a minute. Well, I'll use this one here. This particular project bag holds all of my cords and things. I travel with it, but I have put my cakes in here and zip this up just enough to where the yarn comes out. But this is a trick I saw in the book the other day when I was talking about the wax paper idea. Is most of your little tags here on the end on your zippers have a very wide hole. So this one young lady was saying
show them again so they can see the hole.
Okay. See the little hole there on the pull tab?
Big hole on the zipper.
Yes. Now, not all of them are that big, but most of them are. She got to where she was getting tired of pulling her yarn through the little ribs here on the zipper. So what she did was she took, again, the wax paper idea, and she always keeps a piece with her that's folded. And when she pulls her yarn out, she will thread it through that little hole there on the zipper. And then she takes her wax paper and holds it right here. Piece of paper, and just zips that up to where the wax paper is. And when the yarn comes out, it doesn't get grabbed on the little teeth here, and it comes right through that hole. Isn't that cool? I mean, I just thought, man,
I like that.
Cool. Yeah, I do too. And your yarn stays in here. You don't have to be pulling it out. It's all, I just thought it was a really cool idea.
Hey, Gwen.
Hello, Gwen. How are y'all doing? I'm going to take just a minute and get a drink.
Yeah, I don't know if you're... I'm sorry. I take all the cuffs off of his socks when they get holes in them. I take all the cuffs off, and then I put them on my yarn cakes as I use them. It saves money, and the socks were going to get thrown away anyhow.
Yes.
So because you can buy what they call yarn cozies, and instead of buying those, that's what I use. They work great.
Yeah.
Or you can make one with the tutorial that we have on one of our episodes. But I don't know if y'all's liquor commissions have these, but here in Quebec, our SAQ, the liquor commission here, when you buy something there, they have these bags that have like 4 to 6 sections, which is perfect for slotting your 4 to 6 skeins in for like. I used to there was a few summers ago, I'd go to the park to crochet just because I couldn't go outside here because of the crazy lady. Yeah. So I just put my skeins in there and just took myself to the park.
I like that. That's a good idea. So if you're in Canada, there is a good idea. They don't have that at ours.
No.
No. Well, thank you, Gwen. Thank you so much. Yes, Froggy is the birthday queen.
Yes, she is. And Daniel was up earlier with her, but bless his heart, guys. He's sick. He really is under the weather. So
he's my birthday twin, guys.
So please, good vibes, prayers for him. Because really, he's almost convinced himself that he might have the C.
Yeah, very
C. Yeah. So anyway, Amy, awesome.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. Okay. So, for those of you that are just starting out crocheting, I know that when you build your chains right at first, and then you have to go back and, start with a single crochet, a half double crochet. Sorry, my hand's cramping up just a minute. Sometimes those chains can be really tight and hard for you to get back into. I don't normally talk about this technique. It is out there and a lot of folks do talk about it, but I wanted to show it to you today simply because if you've seen any of my stitch tutorials or anything, I prefer whenever I make my chain and I go back to either start with a single crochet, double crochet, or half double crochet to go. All right, Scully, thank you so much for being here. Love you, sweet pea. I prefer to go in that little back bump there, so you can see, on my chain, because I think it makes a lovely edge, which what you'll see are these little V's that your chain made. So I love going back into the back bump there. But for many people that are just learning how to do it, they find it very difficult to go into that back bump to make their stitch with. And like I said, for me, I do not always bring this up, but in order to make it a little easier for you working in that back bump, go up 1 hook size when you're making your chain. Well, that one finger just wants to stay straight out there. So if you go up 1 hook size, make your chain, pull up a loop. Now, I used a J hook here, and I'm going to come back, grab my I hook, which is what my project would be made out of. Slip it right back in here. And then you can, it's very easy then to go right back into that back bump, which is sticking up right here, and start, as I said, depending on whether you are doing single crochets. See how easy it is to get right there into that bump? Because number one, it's standing up pretty good for you to find. And number two, it's loose enough for you to get that stitch started and worked. And another thing, folks, really is that it does not change the size of your garment or whatever it is that you're making just because you started out your chain with 1 hook size larger than what your project calls for.
No, not at all.
And see how easy it is that I'm just finding that little bump. And as you see, it does, the chain is bigger, but it hasn't done anything as far as my stitch is concerned.
No.
It just makes it easier for you to get started. Now, for us that have been crocheting for a long time, it may not be that big a deal, but you know.
No, but when I work with thread, I will go up
yes,
sizes and make my chain.
Oh yes.
And then go back to what I'm working with when I do thread. And I've been crocheting for many years, but I will still do that because it's easier to go into the loops.
Right.
It just works well. It's an easy
It amazes me that you can work with thread. Your vision.
Yeah.
Well, it's easier to do that, to go up and make your loops. So if you're having difficulty going in that back bump, go up a millimeter in and you'll be able to do it much simpler.
Yeah. Now, this is not something I've tried before. I'm trying it right here in front with you. But how many of you, whether you're making a hat or you're playing with amigurumis, now this technique is very important in amigurumi, and that is the magic ring. But how many of you people really like the magic ring? Oh. I don't have a problem with it. It did take me a long time to get used to doing it. It honestly did. But folks, I have found something that, I don't know, like I said, I'm going to try it out here with you and see what you think. I've never done it before.
Well, I like the magic ring. So.
You like the magic ring? Okay. Yeah. I have seen this technique rather than the magic ring, or even chaining, 4 or 5 and then going back and everything. And that is to, attach your yarn to your hook. And you make sure that that first loop is, pretty open. All right. And then you just chain 1. And now it doesn't matter if you're working double crochets, half double crochets, single crochets. You go back into that first loop that you just created whenever you put your yarn onto your hook, your little slip knot. Well, remember, you want to leave that slip knot loose. And then what you do is after you've made that chain 1, you go back into that slip knot there, that slip loop, I guess you'd say. Let me make my chain here. You go back into that, and that I'm just going to do some single crochets here. Oh, let me go. Now, see, let's see. There we go. See, I can't do it. But you're supposed to.
It's easier. I've always done this. This has always been my workaround. I make my slip knot. I make it bigger. I just put my hook in. I take it out, put it back in, and just do my single crochet or however many, or double crochet, depending on the height you need. I just do it like that rather than trying to do it that way.
Okay, so tell me again, because I watched the video on this like I don't know how many times. I've got my slip knot. Now what do I do?
So I kind of take it out and put it the way you like, the other way, like facing the other way. For some reason, it's easier that way. And I just do my
the other way.
I don't know. It's hard to explain. I
kind of like take it out,
yeah,
and then face it the other way toward you.
A magic ring. Yeah.
Gotta face it
and I do whatever chains I need for my height, and then just go back in.
All right. Oh, I see what it did. It twisted it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be darned.
It's kind of like turning your work at the end of a row or around.
Well, there you go. There's my first single crochet. I'm going to do 6 here then and see if I can tighten it up.
And you can make the loop bigger. Like you make your slip knot loop bigger. And then just tighten it after.
I'm doing half double crochets without even realizing I did that. Let's see, there's 4. I'm going to do one more, make 6. Oh, I guess I better connect over here, huh? Okay, I'm going to come back over here and slip knot into that first one. Well, I'll be a monkey. Look at that.
It can be done.
It worked.
It did.
And I don't even have to pull anything, folks.
Nope.
Look.
There's always a method to Coco's madness.
But no, I mean, I like that. You know what I mean? You don't have to pull anything tight. You're not fighting with, that's the thing that created a problem for me, is whenever I first start with the magic ring.
Just remember to leave a long enough tail, because with this method, you are going to want to weave that in pretty well. Yeah. It's not as secure as the magic ring.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Because whenever I then have to start with my magic ring, you know, I've got this big loop here. And then I'm always fighting with these extra loops back here. And sometimes I can't control the tension on my stitches. And then, of course, you just have to tighten that up. But I like that other way better. Woohoo! Look at there, folks. Learned right along with you. So what we do then.
Oh, nice.
The Coco method. Just a minute. I'm going to make sure that.
The Coco method.
That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it the Coco method. Okay. So there's my tail. Said leave a loop. Take it out. Come in from the other side. There we go. Come on. I've played with this yarn here so much now it's trying to split. Look. Oh, my word, Coco. Like I said, I'll be a monkey. I love this, guys. I love this. Hello, Thrifty. How are you today?
Hey, Thrifty.
Heidi ho.
And then I just join back over here. And there again.
It worked out. Hey,
It did.
Candy.
Well, thank you very much, Coco.
That's
No
awesome.
problemo.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's really about all.
Well, I've got some. I'm not.
Oh,
We're not.
yeah. Good. Let's
Okay.
see what Froggy has for us.
So, some good tips and tricks and hacks. Let's see. When you're doing amigurumi,
Yes.
it's always good when you do your decreases to go, when you go to decrease on a single crochet, go in the front loop of the first stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like Maureen's suggestion, go in the back loop of the second stitch and then go ahead and pull through your loops.
Mm-hmm.
It'll bring it in. What it does is it brings one stitch behind the other stitch.
Yep.
And it makes it a truly invisible stitch.
It really does. Yes, it does.
That's what you're going to want to do. You
Definitely
need
gonna
to
try that one.
Mm-hmm. When you're
That
doing amigurumis, it's really nice.
That way your stitches are invisible. My other hack for you, when you're doing your single crochets and you have to do like back loop only,
Mm-hmm.
I go in the back loop and the loop that's on the back of the work.
Yeah.
So I'm always going through two loops and it makes my project more sturdy
Right.
as I'm doing that and I go around or across a row. Then if I have to do front loop only, I'm going through the front loop and I will look for another loop to grab onto on the front of the work so that I'm always going through two loops all the
Right.
way around or across. It just makes the work more sturdy, especially because I do a lot of amigurumis.
Mm-hmm.
And I just prefer that to keep my work sturdy. Also, for a beginner, whether you're beginning knitting or you're beginning crocheting, and you want, I want those fancy hooks. Let me tell you, I want those fancy hooks.
Yeah.
Don't go buy a whole set of them.
No.
Buy one, try it, and see if you like it.
Right.
Then go buy a bunch of them if you like it. I never advise someone to go buy a whole set
Nope.
unless they like it.
Mm-hmm.
Try it before, try one and see if you like it. And then go in and buy a bunch of them if you do. There's no sense in wasting your money.
No.
Same thing with knitting needles. You want to get a set of knitting needles, that's fine, but buy one fixed set of circulars of a particular brand that you want to try and try those needles first. Then go buy the set of interchangeable needles.
Right.
That way you're not wasting, a couple $100 or $150 on a
Right.
set of needles that you don't even know if you like them,
Right.
because you don't want to waste the money.
Mm-mm.
Stitch markers. We all love stitch
Oh,
markers.
yes.
I am the
pretty
biggest
ones.
culprit. I'm horrible about it.
Mm-hmm.
I use stitch. I have stitch markers that cost me $15 for one stitch marker. I have these beautiful ones made for me by Connie. I love these, and they open and close. And then I have those little plastic ones
Mm-hmm.
that I use all the time.
Hello, Jeannie T.
Hey,
Jeannie T.
Those little plastic diaper pin ones, I use those all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Those things are phenomenal. They are some of my favorite ones, and I guarantee you, I've probably got 20 of them in the floor right now. And I'm pulling my
Exactly,
project
babe.
out. Yep, I probably have them. But you know what?
Uh-huh.
What stitch marker am I using right now? Oh, it's a piece of yarn.
Yep. This is my favorite stitch marker in the world, and I still use it a lot.
We could say this is probably my favorite because I use it so much.
Mm-hmm.
This is perfect because not only, but I see I'm also using a diaper pin one right here.
Mm-hmm.
But this one not only marks where I'm at in the round, but
Right.
it also marks where I am in my rows.
Well,
So
and you know,
that's a big
safety pins. I mean, regular safety pins, hair pins, bobby pins. Oh my goodness. You know.
hairpin, bobby
Mhm.
pins. I use dozens of those.
Right.
Um, these things are like my best friend.
Mhm.
I've got so many of these. This is a repurposed tin. It came with jelly beans in it. I mean, you would be surprised at the weird things. Um, this is sticky notes. Yes, it's a frog, but sticky notes. These are my friends. I use so many sticky notes. I go through them like they're probably water. I
Right.
put sticky notes on my pattern to show me where I am in the pattern. It shows
Right.
me where I am and where I left off. If I want to make notes in my pattern, I prefer to write on the pattern in pencil.
Right. That's what I
But
do. Pencil, pencil.
if I don't have a pencil with me, I will put a sticky note and write in pen on the sticky note
Right.
until I can write in the pattern with pencil.
Right.
That's just me because what if I want to change that and make adjustments to that? The pencil's better because I can correct whatever I wrote.
Right. Well, the other nice thing about the sticky notes is if you have them in your pattern, you can say, you know, I used my J hook. You can even say I used my J clover or my J furl wooden, you know,
What I
whatever
do.
you want. That way you don't have to leave your hook in there. I also keep a hold of the labels on my yarns until I am completely done with my fabric. And 9 times out of 10, that lets me know, number one, that's the yarn that I'm using on that fabric. And what I was going to say, 9 times out of 10, I do use the recommended hook size for that. But if I'm not, for whatever reason, on that yarn label, I will write that I'm using a K hook or I went down a hook or just whatever it is. But I keep my yarn labels with my skein. Even if it gets down to the point where the yarn label comes off, I still keep that label until I'm finished.
I keep the label until the yarn's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I actually keep index cards, like those pretty colorful index cards you get at the dollar store. I use those Ziploc storage bags.
Yes.
And I hang them under a rod under my desk, like vertically.
Yep.
And just back to the stitch markers real quick.
Yep.
I have these two. This is if I'm going to need to move it as I work.
Yes.
Right.
It's easy to get off. This is when I want to put it away temporarily. So
Right.
it doesn't come out.
Yes.
Yeah, just little.
That too.
Oh yeah. We're definitely going to do another episode of tips and tricks, guys.
Oh yes, because there's so many of them out there.
Amigurumi eyes. I love amigurumi eyes. I think they're fantastic. I have 2 different tools for putting them on there. I'm ordering a third one. When I am putting them on and it's going to be used by a child, mind you, over three,
right?
I will glue the backs when I'm putting them on there. I just do.
Right.
I can't tell you why. Now, if it's for me, mine for my shelf, I don't glue the backs on.
Right.
But I will glue the backs on for a child. I just do. I don't care if the kid's 12 years old. I still glue the backs on.
Right.
I don't need to. I just do.
Right.
That's just another helpful thing. Another thing, I save every one of these. I do not throw them away.
Oh, no, 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 no.
They go in my bag. They go in my bag of polyfill.
Yep.
And I use those and stuff my amigurumis with these. Yes, you can melt it. Yes, you can melt it shut. Yes, but I normally will glue. It's what I do. But I save every yarn tail, and they will go inside of my amigurumis. I don't have to do that.
I'll take a wad of them out of my bag, or I keep a little container on my desk now. I'll take a wad of that, and I'll take a wad of polyfill. Kind of mix it in together.
Yeah,
and
I got a little goofy looking thing off of Temu to stick them in. See, they're in there. That's just so it stays on my desk because I kept leaving the tails on my desk. You prefer safety eyes for stuffed animals. I do too. If the child is 3 or younger, I hand embroider and I put very tight knots on the back.
Right.
That's just 3 and under. I will not put safety eyes on them.
Nope.
That's
I
my
don't put
thing.
anything plastic on those that I'm making for babies. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just it's how I work. That's just me. I also, if it's for 3 and younger, I use something that won't melt, so I will not use acrylic. Acrylic melts and when it gets on the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I will use either wool or cotton for a baby.
Right.
That's just what I prefer to do.
And just before we go, is there anyone here that was not here when I talked about my lighted gloves?
Y'all got to see. Well, do you have them?
You know what? Yeah, I have them right here. Okay.
Okay.
I do not donate my stuff to a local thrift store. No. No, it stays with me or it goes to someone that I know of in particular. Yes,
okay. Make her big. These are so cool, folks.
I got these off Amazon. Just look up lighted glove. This is what it looks like. Comes with a set of 2. What you do, put your thumb in one, your finger in the other, wrap it around your wrist, and then you got lights directed exactly where you need it. So if you don't want to get those lighted hooks, because I don't like how they glide,
there
you go. Direct exactly.
Those are amazing.
Set of 2 for each hand.
Isn't that cool? I thought those were the neatest things when she showed us the first time.
I love those. I would love some. I love those.
Yeah.
I think they would be fantastic for working with dark yarns.
Oh, yes. You know they would.
Absolutely. I love them. Aren't they neat, Jeannie J?
Yep.
I love those. Well, next week on TFF, we are going to be on Coco's channel, and we will be back on schedule. We'll go to Coco, then we'll go to Dan, then we'll go to Maureen, then we'll go back to my house.
Yep.
So I hope you guys have enjoyed the live. We appreciate you guys. Well, I can't do Ashley. I'm blind. I crochet. But I hope you guys have really enjoyed the episode today. I know we've enjoyed having you. And I hope you guys will join us next Sunday over at Coco's house.
Yes.
But in the meantime, stay safe, be kind to one another, and Maureen.
Please remember, be the light out there on the darkness for someone today, because you never know. Could be your light they need to see. Again, thank you all so much for being here. We love it every time you pop in, leave a comment. And even if you were lurking, thank you so much for being here. And we'll see you next week.
We love you guys. Bye now.